I just don't see it. The planet's dying. What we need to be doing is planting hemp along the coastline at the Gulf to help absorb some of the toxins out, the oil out the soil that they're being backed up. Hemp plastics where there's those big fissures, and not the well in the Gulf, but where the land itself is damaged. There's so much that we need to do now to save ourselves now. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to just be able to be what you mentioned earlier about Health and Human Services Director. If we have a better chance getting them to, or that person, to sign whatever order needs to be signed and not waste any time on the weed smoker, or he claims ex-weed smoker president, then that's what we need to do. The question becomes, what's the strategy? Casper mentioned a good idea on his show a while back, that we just all need to show up at the police station the same day at the same time. So that's the foundation of my question, is how to either Jack Herrera Executive Order 420 or something comparable.
And I also see that we have another caller on the line, and we have a caller calling in from area code 514. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Hello. You have a question or a comment?
You hear me?
Yes.
First of all, I would like to give you many thanks for this show. It's so important. But I have a question regarding the last election. I have a big feeling that these elections were rigged and you've been stalled once again. What do you think about it?
Carey, I'll pass that to you.
Are you talking about the elections in California? Or?
Yeah, Prop 19.
Yeah,
he wanted to know if you thought it was stolen or rigged.
Well, I think what happened on Prop 19, you never know in any election if you're getting the right count or not, but I think what happened in Prop 19, just a few weeks before that vote happened, you see the governor, he decriminalized marijuana in California, which made it just a $100 fine and, a bunch of, civil stuff that you have to go through and all. And so that hurt it right there. But the biggest problem with Prop 19 and the supporters of it were they focused too much on the part that everybody's going to get to, be able to smoke marijuana and possess marijuana. And they failed to even bring the hemp industry into focus. And if they had stressed the importance of what the hemp industry would do, you can forget about the marijuana sales or the cannabis sales. That's going to pale in comparison. But they failed to mention the hemp industry and the amount of money and revenue that this would do for the state and the whole country, not to mention jobs and all that. And I think that's where the failure of this came. It was kind of a two-part thing. The voters didn't get out and support it, but also the people who were kind of leaning one way or the other, they saw, they've just decriminalized it. They don't really need any more than that. And then, of course, the hemp industry itself wasn't stressed. I think those are the main factors why that failed.
I also think it's horrific that anytime people focus on the wonderful aspects of this plant, oftentimes the fact that you can get 20 barrels of oil out of every acre growing for methanol fuel from this plant, that would free us from foreign oil. And those are standards that were studied and developed and proven by the United States Agricultural Department here in America during World War II, when hemp was actually being used and produced for fuel. And so our own government knows for a fact that we could be completely and totally independent from other countries for any type of fuel source, heating, cooking, plastics, paints. It doesn't make any difference. We could take care of it all by ourselves. But they choose to outlaw this plant and keep those jobs overseas and keep our farmers broke and keep polluting the planet because the petrochemical companies and the oil industry has a tendency of lining the pockets of our Congress and our Senate.
So true.
Yep. They can, and the scary thing is they can take hemp that they're growing in Canada right now, take the byproducts, push it and pack it into charcoal and throw it into our coal burning forests right now as we speak and start burning electricity.
Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely. And think of the jobs it would create just doing all of that.
Yeah, and that still wouldn't even have to be growing hemp in America, even though I want us to.
You know,
we wouldn't even
in the 80s in the 80s in Australia, when they made big seizures and stuff, they actually took the confiscated material and burned it in the power plants to generate electricity. That's a true fact.
Wow. Well, I'm certainly enjoying the call-in night tonight. It's nice to have a couple of callers on the line. I do not know how do we address the person at area code 928?
I'm there.
There, and the person at area code. Okay, at 514, you are very quiet.
Still there?
All right. And I guess not. And then we have a person from area code 705 joining our phone conversation. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Casper.
Oh, is this Al?
You got it.
Hi, Al. Graham from Canada, one of the hardworking activists up there in Canada, also works with Treating Yourself magazine. Are you enjoying our phone conversations?
Sure I am. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Listen to you guys talk about hemp and stuff.
That's great. Well, we sure appreciate you joining. We got about a minute before we go to commercial. You got a question or a comment?
Yeah, I just got a comment. It's unfortunate that in the U.S. that you guys all support the military and stuff, and the fact that hemp did so much for the military back in the time before it became illegal. And the fact that you had to regrow it again in the early 40s, that you would think at this time that there'd be more support for that, for people to grow it. I got two farms within an hour's distance from my place.
You're right. You would think that, and I wasn't kidding when I said we were short on time. We're going to take a commercial break here, and then we're going to listen to that great marijuana Christmas song. We got a sample of at the top of the hour, and then we're going to be talking a whole lot more about this fabulous plant here at Time for Hemp. Happy holidays here at Time for Hemp. We know how to get you into the spirit. One of my favorite songs always moves me, leaves a tear in my eye, and my pipe half smoked. With that said, we are having listener call-in night, and we have on the program a new friend of mine. We've been hanging out now for about a month, Carey Burns, one of my old-time sponsors. I have to say that. Now, Hippie Butter has been sponsoring Time for Hemp about almost 3 years, and we appreciate Brad Ervin for being a strong champion of our hard work. And we also have on the program joining us now Dean Becker, who has some comments to make, and we've got a couple of callers on the line. But before we get to everybody else, Dean, you are now joining us, and I was wondering, what do you think about our remarkable group of people known as what they call themselves, the DEA. I'm sorry, I'm a stoner. I forget. They are. I get high.
For years, maybe even decades, we've been calling those folks drug warriors, but nothing could be further from the truth. They are drug war addicts. They are addicted. Their habits are very nasty. They're in denial. They need intervention. They need us to...
Now, quiet! I will let our audience know why this came up. It's because I had made comment before conversation, before the program to Dean that maybe I should start being a little more nice to Eric Holder and say a little more nice things about him. And I think I heard Dean almost throw up in his mouth before I even finished my sentence. And then after I got done saying what I had to say, Dean had a lot to say, and he's going to finish those remarks now before we open the switchboards back up to conversation. So, Dean, take it away.
Well, the truth be told, these guys pretend they are saviors of the nation, that they're somehow doing some good, and nothing could be further from the truth. They, as I said, they are addicted to this drug war. And, of course, the blowbacks, the spinoff from this policy of drug prohibition is enormous. It's growing exponentially, truthfully. We have a problem in Afghanistan, Mexico. They killed 100-something people earlier this year in Jamaica in a drug raid. And every day in America, several thousand people are arrested for having plant products in their pocket. The very same type of plant products that George W. Bush had in his pocket, that Clinton had in his, and that President Obama had in his pocket. And I wouldn't doubt that Mr. Holder had some as well. And what we have to do is call these people to task. And by that, I mean, you know, you're a reporter, I'm a reporter, and if ever I get the opportunity to interview Holder or Obama or any of these guys, I'm not going to talk marijuana, not going to talk needle exchange, harm reduction, none of that. I'm going to talk about the fact that it is our policy of drug prohibition that empowers our terrorist enemies, that truthfully feeds the Taliban's cash cow. It gives reason for this horrible war going on down in Mexico, and it gives a job to basically anybody who wants to join any of the thousands of gangs that are here in America and around the world. There is no justification for this, and I would ask Mr. Holder or any of these such folks to tell me what is the justification, what is the benefit, what have we derived that more than offsets all this horrible blowback? And, of course, there is no answer. Hello?
Well
How
said.
about hypocrite?
Hypocrites, that's a good word for it.
I think
That's
if
right.
we can just
All
call...
the lines are on, so everybody can talk now.
Okay, good. If we can just contact, you had mentioned Health and Human Services, Congressman, Senator, everybody. This week, holiday season, while we're talking to our families, everybody's life is in danger right now because we have made nature illegal. There was a TV commercial many years ago. It talked about it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. We have raped her. And we need to address this right now because this is the only rock we have despite conversations about life in other places. It is imperative right now that we do what you gentlemen are talking about, which is contact whoever we need to contact with the full force of we the people and turn this situation around right now. I'm looking at grandkids and I can't promise them that they have a shot of being my age, the way we set it up right now. But we can fix this with a very simple, allow nature to be nature and let her have full spectrum of plants. Then we can turn this around and make this world the way we all know that it's supposed to be. And since I got the mic, something I've wanted to say since I've been on here is thank you so much, Casper. Thank you so much for Time for Hemp. Thanks for giving a forum because the leadership in the movement sometimes has an agenda different than legalization. Prop 19 was just a bad law, but that doesn't change the fact that this drama's been going on 30, 40 years and still no results. It's almost like we've got to seek but do not find strategy. But as we, the people, step forward, we, the people, can demand that our government do what we want. I do believe there was a congresswoman saying that the American people should be getting pitchforks right about now.
Well, I appreciate your kind remarks about my program, and it's nice to know that it's had a positive effect in your path in life. Thank you so much for saying so.
Casper, can I jump in here with a thought? And that is, we've heard this phrase before, but nowhere is it more obvious as it is in regards to drug prohibition, and that is wars are to be waged and not won.